We covered, I think it was 2 weeks ago, the very healthy incomes of Jared Kushner and his wife Ivanka Trump while they were working in the White House, earning some 400 million or so dollars between the two of them. Again, remember, while they were advising Donald Trump on policy and Ivanka was meeting with world leaders, sitting in for the Secretary of State. We now have income data for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is, and this is the key word, Donald Trump is admitting to making more than $1.6 billion in revenue and income during his 4 years as president of the United States. That's roughly $400 million per year. This is based on a review by CREW, Citizens for Responsible Ethics Watchdog. I doubt that's what it is. I always forget what CREW stands for, but they're a very good organization that has reviewed Donald Trump's financial disclosures. And Donald Trump very publicly took credit for and bragged about donating his salary, $440,000 a year, I believe it is. But that ended up representing less than 0.1% of the revenue and income that he has disclosed during his presidency. So really no big sacrifice. And I think that there's a couple of different stories here. On the one hand, Donald Trump's presidency did significant damage to his brand reputation. Lots of things removing the Trump name from them, buildings, condo buildings, etc. Donald Trump's hospitality revenue down dramatically. Many of his hotels, even before the pandemic, doing not well. The pandemic has only accelerated that, of course. But at the same time, you have to understand that there are all sorts of other sources of revenue for Donald Trump, including licensing and other properties that Trump has an interest in, but don't have the Trump name on them. Many people may not even know that they're necessarily Trump affiliated properties, golf courses, and so many other things. Some of these are in Europe. We know, of course, of Turnberry and Aberdeen in Scotland, two of Donald Trump's golf courses there. And this has been a very profitable presidency for Donald Trump. Donald Trump and his family repeatedly said, we're sort of taking we're taking a hit here. My life was great before being president. And, I was making all sorts of money and I'm separating myself from all these businesses and all of this stuff. Made a big show of putting a big stack of papers in front of him during the transition period in 2016, claiming that he is going to be disassociating himself from all of these businesses. Well, turns out that he still earned a ton of money. And what this really makes me think of is the stunning hypocrisy with which right wingers can honestly say, Bernie has $1 million at nearly 80 years old and after earning six figures for decades as a member of Congress and now the Senate. Bernie has $1 million and three houses. Donald Trump earned $400 million per year while president of the United States. Jimmy Carter, when he was president, severed ties with his family's peanut farm to avoid even the possibility of the appearance of the perception of impropriety. And Donald Trump made $400 million per year, and you hear nothing from his followers. It shouldn't really surprise us. And then the last thing is, as of course with Trump, he's admitting to 1.6 billion while president. How much else is there? And with Donald Trump, we know he's very willing to say that a particular building is worth a lot if he needs to use it as collateral for a loan, or not worth much at all if it's to reduce the value of his assets for tax purposes, real estate tax purposes, or whatever the case may be. Donald Trump is admitting to 1.6 million in income and revenue while he was president. What else is there? How much has been funneled to his various kids? We know that with campaign donations, he was regularly putting his family members on staff, Lara Trump and many, many others. We may never know the full scope of it, sadly.